If you want to find out what the best kind of routing and pathing that you can do on labs to get the most loot possible and how I go around and open up all of the rooms, this video is for you. Of course, like the video if you do enjoy videos like this, so it lets me know that you want more style videos like this one. And of course, let's jump in. So we are into the raid. I think we're going to go and loot up our usual spots and play just how we normally would and try and find ourselves some PMCs. And just like that, apparently our nade actually took them all out. So, yeah, not quite what I was expecting, but we'll take it. Well, we've looted up those guys. Going to grab out some of these. And yeah, I think that's about it from these guys that we actually want. And we'll go make our way over to kind of start the run properly. And hopefully we can find some raiders later on down the line. Obviously, quite a few rare spawns that can come in here. They're usually on the desk right there or right there. And there are some that can spawn right there and along this desk, and there can also be a stim spawn on the floor as well over here, although you can't see it when I turn my light on, as you can probably expect. But either way, we are now gonna grab some rounds back into our thing, and we will make our way over to the other side. I guess we can loot up manager's office actually. Got ourselves a nice little Bitcoin from the manager's office, which is always good. And hopefully we can find some extra bits in here. Maybe a weapon or something like that. Nah, nothing too spectacular. Want to check this spate. We'll check this PC. A hard drive, not too bad, and some caps, and we'll grab up the safe. Obviously, manager's office, really, really good for just getting yourself some decent loot. Of course, we got ourselves quite a few rubles, stuff like that, but nothing major from the safe. Always want to check over there. We also want to check on the floor, because there can be a rare spawn just in front of me, under the kind of table area. Some wires. Nothing spectacular. On the chairs can be a blue keycard spawn, I believe, something like that. But a keycard spawn nonetheless, so we always want to check there, and then we can make our way out of the room. Gonna head over towards yellow and open this one up. Hopefully we don't get beamed from across the way. PMCs love to spawn in and around this area, and will often just beam you out of existence, so we're gonna turn off the announcer and check all of the chairs in here, as there can be rare spawns on top of them. There you go, first one over here as well. And you want to check the floor over here, which has a rare spawn as well, and on this. And then inside of the little gate thing, we do have two more rare spawns. So we've got Rashala. You have to close the gate over here to grab up the second one, and there we go, some drawers if you really wanted to get the most loot out of the room. Also some weapon components spawn over here, so always a nice little additional extra. And it's worth checking out the computer in here, as I've got quite a few GPUs that have actually come out of it, but today not going to be the case. I'm going to make our way over to this room, which has a couple more rare spawns, so you can see on the bench over there. And we want to check over here by the computer, as there can be some spawns. We can open the gates if we wanted to extract in kind of the area directly behind us. And there you go. Nothing spectacular. Another set of drawers if we wanted to open them. Now we're going to do the very scary run, which is directly over to Red Room. Seems like there was actually someone in here, so there could be someone over and around, so make sure to always check the corners as you come in here. They can also actually come into the room, so it's always worth closing the door, especially if you want to loot up the duffels that can spawn on the floor. Okay, nothing spectacular in that one. I would assume that the PMC's actually looted this one up as there's a Thor on the floor. Maybe not. Okay, cool. We can open up the red room. You want to be careful when you do open up the red room, as PMCs can actually go down there. And they can shoot you from there whilst you're actually opening the door, which is not ideal. Got ourselves an ACC or an MCC, which is obviously the one that you want to use for your hideout upgrade. I've already got a ton of them, so yeah, not a problem for us. A little bit of ammo in here. Always great to pick up some of the high tier ammo. You can always check some of the magazines that you find as well, as you can sometimes find some pretty good stuff in them. But yeah, not looking like we've got a whole lot of interesting stuff in this one. Jump up over here. You can also see some of the spawns that are in here. They can spawn on top of the drawers, so it's always worth checking that. And then, of course, you got the room that you can open. Now, for me, it doesn't look like there's going to be anything of value in there, so I am not going to open it and save our unlock for the next time we enter into the red room. And there you go. We got some ammo spawns down here. Always check these because there can be some pretty decent stuff. But you can see you can get some PS ammo. Nothing spectacular in that regard, but, you know, we'll take the PS ammo that we can. And it's always worth unloading these, as you might get some later on down the line. Now, usually I don't actually like looting up these PCs because raiders, PMCs do spawn up and around in the center over there, and they can see you far easier than you can see them because obviously they're AI. So yeah, it can be very quick to go back into the next raid, if you get my drift. So I wouldn't recommend it on PVE, but of course it's worth just having a quick check if you do feel confident enough. But yeah. Now we can go over to the violet room directly opposite the red room. And this is probably the best room out of everything, to be honest. The amount of rare spawns that I've been getting in this room has been so good. You get 3 spawns basically as you enter the room, or maybe even 4, because you can get 2 on the bottom shelf, 1 there. And then you go over here on the desk, there's some more rare spawns. I've got bitcoins, that sort of stuff. On top of the cabinets, you can also get a rare spawn as well. In these, you can also get rare spawns. So actually on these kind of shelving units in the corner, now they often have weapon components, but they can have rare spawns as well. You've got these big kind of weapon boxes as well that have stuff in them. You get a rare spawn down here as well. We got ourselves some more rare spawns on and around the table. You can see like 4 rare spawns directly there. So very good in that department. They can of course have bitcoins, that sort of stuff as well. So it's always nice to kind of get those. And then of course 2 of these, and you've got a rare spawn that can spawn just in front of these, and you've got another rare spawn that's inside the kind of area directly in front of me. As you can see, there's a clock over there. I think there may even be multiple rare spawns in there, one on the shelves, but we can show you. So yeah, we open up this, close it, drop it down, and we don't have space for a clock, so that's fine. Of course, we could drop out one of these plates. I don't think we're too bothered about a half-used plate, but you can see a cat over there. You got this, which we can open just to see if there's any weapons in there, and a weapon box as well. So by far, Violet is like my most favoured room. It is just so good. You can get duffels that spawn on the floor over here, and on this one, and obviously you can see the one that's actually over there. Okay, so seems like we got someone directly outside our room, which is always good. I think we'll try lob a nade. Now we could try and make a break for it into the room directly over to the left of us, but it is a bit risky. So we'll drop our backpack with ZZ. Lob an underhand nade to try and get it over. Not entirely sure where these footsteps were, but we're going to make a break for it. Just over to here. And then from here, I'll usually run over to here, through the kitchen area. PMCs can be around here, so it's always worth checking. Right, let's lob a nade. Okay, there's someone directly over. They always seem to take off my right arm. Or left arm, even. Okay, they're pushing me. Lob another nade. Using up all of these nades right now. Okay, that's one down. Just drop our backpack. We've only got one nade left. Okay, seems like we may have got them all. Gonna make our way over to the green and blue and black rooms, and then we'll see from there. So this was definitely a raider spawn. They don't usually have much on them, to be honest. The only decent thing is usually the ammunition, but even then it's usually pretty garbage. So I'm not too bothered about that. Just check for any nades, because they're always handy to have a few on you. We'll check these, because these are big round mags, so if they've got decent ammo, they haven't. Okay. And this is why the MP is absolutely one of my favourite shotguns. Drop in the rest of that ammo. You always want to make sure you got at least a full stack on you at any one time. There's still one more somewhere. Okay. So we know he's up in the manager's office. Can't really get over there. It's never good when you literally don't know where they are. I'm telling you, this MP153 super underrated. Like, genuinely so good with that 8 shell mag that you can just all mag dump people, and there's not a whole lot that they can do about it. So we can go into Black Room. Try a hand at a Ledex. Might also get a stim to help us walk around and be less heavy. There we go. There's the Ledex. Just drag that into our back. Obviously dragging in all of those injectors, and it's always good to drop up the ammunition to the top here. So all of the stims will basically go into your kind of bag instead of onto you. There can be a Ledex right here on that chair. There can also be a Ledex in here as well, and at the end. just directly in front of us now over there. There could be some stims that lie underneath that. But so far, this room seems to have been pretty decent this raid. Obviously, LEDX helps massively, but even without that, probably would have made our money back just purely off of the stims because of the mules and that sort of stuff. And there you go. Always want to be careful of here because there can be PMCs inside that room for some reason. They kind of go there. And then we always check over here because there's a green keycard spawn on the table directly behind us over here. Literally on this table right there. Can be very, very good. I managed to get one recently. You can always check to see whether blue room is probably worth it by just coming over here. And you can see there's a stim spawn where that AFAC is. And then you'll also see a stim spawn behind here. And there can also be a spawn for a keycard inside of there. But like on the computers, so... always check there, and there can be stims as well on there. And then you can check on the desk directly over there as well, in front of us. And you can check in here to see if there are any stim spawns, because that's basically the only way you make money from Blue Room, and at the minute, it's looking pretty dead, because the key's relatively expensive still. I think we'll use one of these, and we'll use the Meldonin as well. And that'll give us a little bit of weight and stam that we so desperately need. I don't know why BSG did that inertia change. It was genuinely terrible. Like, that was literally terrible. You got to watch out as you come around here because PMCs will go down to that bottom floor for some reason. And then as we come out of here, there can be PMCs down the corridor as well as around this corner. So always check over there. Literally directly next to the lab sign. And then we go over here. Crack open the green room, see what we can get. We're pretty juiced anyway, so... it's just really if we can get some high tier loot that's in the back room. Let's just sort out this. Make a bit more space. Ugh, adrenaline. Not quite what we were anticipating. Also want to check over here because there's black keycard spawn on the desk. Some stim spawns right behind that little bucket and on the left hand side. And then there's also some stim spawns that are like inside of these test tube racks. So always check there. Then we've got ourselves a nice little med case that we can open as well. You want to check the kind of drawers as well over there. A little SJ6, which is worth quite a bit. Just drop that in there. And then check the shelves and on these desks as well. You do want to be careful when you're in this room though, because there can be some raiders and PMCs from outside that can hit you whilst you're in here. Microcontroller board. Got ourselves a Raven and a GPU. Cool. We'll drop out the cat. Drop in the GPU, grab out the gold coin. Basically just trying to min-max. Not to the extent where we're spending like 10 times the amount of time in every raid, but just, you know, enough to give us a bit of money. We got ourselves some piranha ammo, so we can always unload that. Cool. Little mule. Checking the shelves and on here as well. There can be quite a few spawns and there can be some syringes and injectors. Right, cool. As we come out, there can be a docs case, not a docs case, a intel folder that spawns on these shelves as well, so worth checking over there. And now it's time to go get out of the raid. So as I say, even like if you've been down and around here, you always want to check the bottom floor because there can be raiders over there and also in the doorways. I'd highly recommend just closing the doors as you come behind. And then once we're down, I'll basically just run to the end of the corridor, open up this room, hug the pipe on the left hand side. Just to avoid if anyone does see you. Gives you a little bit more cover just directly here. And then we will run over here. I will close this door as raiders do spawn. And then I'll close this door over here. Then I'll run up over to here. and then back over here, and that basically is the safest way to kind of extract on PVE at least, because of the fact that you're kind of hidden from the right hand side, and anyone that comes through the door you'll hear as they come down the actual steps. So kind of works really nicely. Raiders can spawn down the end of the corridor, but you just wait till this is open and you can run straight in. They're not going to be able to hit you before you get in anyway, even if they do spawn down there. So that was kind of the full raid as to what I do on labs when I do want to open up all the keycards and that sort of stuff. Just taking the outskirts when you're moving between kind of the red, violet and yellow rooms. And then, you know, when you're going back, you kind of go either on the underground or you make your way around the outskirts. And it's just about playing safe. You don't want to be running through the middle of the map, because raiders and PMCs are pretty harsh on this map, and they're also like very, very hostile. So as soon as they see you, they're going to kind of sprint towards you or try and get an angle or flank you or whatever. So you just want to make it as easy and kind of limit those opportunities for them to flank you, as I've had multiple things where PMCs have come surging from behind me or whatever, and taken me out that way, when you got like 3 in front, 3 behind, and it's just like, well, that's me over. But yeah, you just want to limit those opportunities that the PMCs do actually get within the raid. Obviously, this is kind of the loot that we got from opening up all of the rooms. You do have to factor in that we did use one use on basically all of the rooms bar blue, but we checked blue to see if there was anything worth it in there and didn't seem like it, so we're not going to open it. And so basically all of the rooms, but we could have quite easily done that. So yeah, it's going to cost us a couple mil in just opening up the keys themselves, as some of these are very, very expensive. I would recommend probably the best key card right now is the violet key card. It's 4 mil, but it's like 400k per opening, but you saw how many rares that we actually got in there, and the amount of bitcoins, the amount of graphics cards and that sort of stuff that I found in that room makes just that cost absolutely insane. Like, I'm getting at least 2 bitcoins every single opening, maybe a graphics card in there as well, and then just the loose loot is giving you nearly that 400k every single time that I enter the violet room. So definitely go ahead and get yourself the violet keycard. Red keycard, probably not worth it, to be honest with you, in terms of some of the other ones. Blue keycard is not worth it. That's why you always check it before you opening it. So that is kind of worth it then, but you should always check blue before you go in there, because if you don't see a lot of stims, you're basically not going to make your money back. Green is almost worth it every single time. It's not too expensive to actually buy on the flea if we look. So 6.9 million, the amount of times that you get kind of high value loot in there, plus a load of stims, you'll make your money back. And then you've got yourself, what is it, yellow key card, definitely worth it. It's super cheap compared to the rest of the key cards, so it's about 2 mil or something when I last checked, so 1.1 mil, so it's costing you 100k to go in there, and just simply the rare spawns are going to give you that, like just the base rare spawn, so figurines and stuff like that, they're going to give you that 100k, so I don't see why you wouldn't get the yellow key card. And then of course we've got ourselves the black key card. This is probably one of the more expensive key cards, but that's because the amount of LEDXs you can get in the black keycard room at 5.5 million is just insane. Like, I have been getting so many LEDXs just simply from opening the black room that I've probably made like double the cost of the actual keycard. And as you can see, one LEDX is like 2.4 million rubles right now. So you basically make half the cost of the key card from just one LEDX, and I have had 2 LEDXs in one raid. In terms of the other loose loot, this will probably net you like 2 million, something like that, just from random spawns, the stims and everything like that. So in terms of like the loose loot, that is where you're kind of just paying for the cost of the cards that you're opening. But as I say, if I was doing like a normal run, I usually don't open the red key card, as it's not that good. There's like 3 rare spawns in there, maybe 4. And even then, like, it's not always guaranteed that you get really any rare spawns. It's usually like 1 rare spawn to 2 rare spawns. Whereas you see with Violet, it's more like 6 to 7 guaranteed every time. Which is why I think red is just terrible in general and super overpriced for what it actually is. It's just a rare key card. card, which is probably why the price is so high. So yeah, 500k per use, just roughly. Not worth it at all. So hopefully that gave you a little guide. Of course, we use a shotgun. This is not the ideal for labs, but I thought I'd showcase it anyway as kind of a little guide as to what I do since the patch with all of the AI changes and that sort of stuff on labs. If you've enjoyed it, you found it useful or at least informative to see me kind of running through and what I do usually, making sure to take quite a few of those nades in. Yeah, it's just a very nice loot run and a very good map, even if you don't have the key cards, as there are a ton of rooms with a ton of rare spawns. And maybe I'll do a video just highlighting the rooms without needing any key cards at all on labs to show you that you can probably net quite a few million just off of rare loot that you'll find just in the rooms with no key cards whatsoever. And of course, if you want to use the manager's office room key and the weapons testing area key, these are two amazing keys to actually open as well. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.